All right, so today we're hitting our last two core values. I'll be glad when these are over. Nurturing and teamwork, right? So we go through nurturing. Anybody give me an example of what nurturing is in our business? What is something that would be exhibited as nurturing?
Showing the new guy how we do things.
Yeah, showing the new guy how we do things, for sure. Anybody else? Nobody.
Taking the time to explain as a machine.
Yeah, how do you use a machine? Pat?
I don't know, help people with like barrels that are too heavy. So
Yeah.
straining each other.
Yep, that's actually, that's probably teamwork. And it's nurturing. I guess teamwork's part of nurturing, right? Last week we had integrity and accountability. They were very similar. Nurturing and teamwork are very similar too. Nurturing is, supporting the growth of team members, providing mentorship, sharing knowledge, offering opportunities, and learn and develop. How much better is it when you start a job and somebody explains to you what you have to do your job, right? We've seen guys that have come in here when we didn't, not even 3 years ago. We didn't do any of these classes. We didn't put any sort of onboarding plans in place. And we'd have a new guy come in with his head down. Maybe he's an introvert a little bit. He doesn't know anybody. He's working with a whole new group of guys. He doesn't know who he's walking in with. These guys could be MS-13. Like, he has no idea, right? So he's coming in and he's working with a whole new group of guys, and he's nervous right off the bat. But if somebody takes that person and says, hey, yeah, I'm going to show you this is what we do, this is how, and it introduces them to people, that makes that guy's day a lot better. And that guy's going to be a lot more efficient too. The whole team's going to be a lot more efficient. That's nurturing, right? That's one example of nurturing. Providing mentorship. That doesn't just end with day one. It's all the way through. I mean, one person who's a really good nurturer in this company, anybody give me an example of somebody who's a good nurturer in this company? Caleb, Glenn, Alfredo. Alfredo, yeah, we have some guys that stand out, right? We've had guys that weren't good nurturers, that didn't last, that are gone, and a lot of you guys know them guys, but like it makes a big difference. Glenn stands out. Mike's a great nurturer. Like it's a matter of just being there and supporting people and offering opportunities to learn and develop. Speaking of Glenn's out. He had a procedure done last week. Anybody wants to send him a text and say, hey, I hope you're feeling well. That'd be a great thing to do. Just throwing it out there. Caring for clients and landscapes, taking pride in maintaining and enhancing the properties and relationships we serve. We nurture our clients too. We take the customer and we bring them out, we show them what we did, and we nurture them when we go out and we look at a job. We show them what we're going to do. We show them how we're going to do it. We recommend. I went to a job yesterday, a new client in the Pine Hills, an older couple. They had no clue. They had no idea they thought that a lilac was an annual. And you know what's scary is some of you guys probably don't know that either. A lilac is not an annual. Let me just say that. I had to talk to them and tell them, what I think would be a good idea in the courtyard and what we could do with this, what we could do with that. I could have told them anything and they probably would have believed it. But you have to nurture that client. And then when we're done doing the job or finished doing any project we're doing, to take that customer out and show them what we did. And that's nurturing. That goes a long way. That's where we get these good reviews. So, and good recommendations and our reputation. So taking pride in maintaining and enhancing the properties and the relationships we serve. We nurture our commercial clients. We talk to them. Mike does a great job of that. Mike, I'll say this, I went on a meeting with Mike last year to go visit a board, homeowners association. And all that they talked about was how great Mike was. What is that? Like, Mike could have gone in there and just been, just a miserable account manager, and that wouldn't have gone anywhere. The relationship is what keeps us on these properties, not so much the work we do. I mean, the work's important. It's one of our core values, right? Excellence. But the relationships are what keep the people engaged with us and calling us and talking to us. And we have their family members that have worked for us, and that goes a long way. So leading with patience and empathy, approaching challenges and feedback with understanding, encouragement, and a positive mindset, right? So to be a leader and to be a foreman on a crew and be positive and not be negative and think about, it's tough to do because it's human nature, but to think about what what another person's thinking and how it sounds. We've talked about this before, where communication is only, it's not what you say, it's what other people hear. So if you get a guy in your crew and he's not having a great day and you say something and he takes it out of context, then that just can blow up. Like, try to really be intentional about thinking about what other people are thinking when you're talking to them. And that helps. That is nurturing. That's really like working with and being, self-aware of what you're saying and what other people are doing on your crew. Nurturing in action, mentoring a new crew member, caring for a landscape. We're nurturing plants, right? That's actually, we got one job, one profession out of most professions that actually we're nurturing the product, right? If I own a gas station, we're not taking care of the gas, we're selling it. We got to take care of the plants. We're actually nurturing plants too. So caring for the landscape, sharing ideas to improve, 2 team members collaborating on a process that will make their work easier. Celebrating achievements, the team gather. There's nothing better. I was showing Saturday, we were working down at the greenhouse, and thanks for everybody who came in Saturday. I appreciate you guys. I really do for coming in and working. But my father-in-law pulled in, and just to visit, came in to check the place out. And he said, "How's it going?" I said, "It's going good." He says, "How are the guys this year?" I said, "They're awesome. Everybody's doing, and the ladies are awesome." I said, "I think it's the best year with regards to turnaround." Right? We've had guys that have started in the beginning of the season, didn't last a week, and they were gone. Like a lot, and it was a big turnaround. He said, "I think it's the best year." And he said, "How's the culture?" I said, "You want to see how the culture is?" And I opened up Team Reach. I said, "Let me show you these messages. These are what the guys send to each other." He was like blown away. So that goes a long way. We're celebrating achievements. When you guys say, "Hey, great work, guys. Good day," or yeah, Team Egan, we're a family. I think Ronaldo said something like that, or Alfredo or something like that. That's huge. All right, teamwork. Now we're off nurture. Let's go to teamwork, having each other's backs no matter what. All right, we support one another, especially in challenging situations. We're there for our teammates when they need us. That's the most important part of teamwork. Supporting whoever else you're working with, meaning like having their back. If they're having issues, they can have issues at home. You could, take care of them, have their back. Working together to finish strong. Overcome obstacles, accomplish our goals as a team. That's teamwork, right? Working together, working as a team. When 2 people aren't talking to each other, they're not communicating with each other. So nothing's getting done correctly. There's no communication. So we don't want to have that. Working with, to say at the end of the day, "Hey, I'm finishing up this job. Does anybody else need help? Does another crew need help?" That's a great example of teamwork. Yeah, go over, this crew does need help. Instead of this crew staying until 5 o'clock, if they had 2 extra guys, they would have been out of there at 3:30, and 2 guys came back early at 2:30 because they didn't call. Like, that's not a good example of teamwork. So working together, communicating clearly, understanding that we win or lose as a team too, right? We're working together. It's not he did it or she did. We didn't do good because of him. It doesn't do any good to be that way. I mean, it may be the case. You may have a guy on a crew that's not pulling his weight as well, but whatever. It's all one machine working together. So this is how we finish together. So yeah, teamwork in action, helping a teammate, sharing tools and knowledge. Celebrating achievements. It went back to nurturing. Communication, coordination. Crew members discussing plans and aligning on next steps. That's a big one, right? Being communicating. What's the next step? What are we going to do after this? What are we going to do? We're doing this. We're going to attack the job this way. We're going to go boom, boom, boom. Everybody's in communication. It goes a long way instead of everybody being confused, because confusion always causes failure. There's no situation where there's confusion and everything goes smooth, right? So. Builds trust and respect on every crew if we have these values. I mean, we're not going to be perfect. Nothing's perfect. We're not going to be perfect in anything we do. But to take these steps makes a big difference. Creates a culture people want to be part of. We get people applying for jobs here that want to work here. Not even, it's turned into, it's almost turned into, I don't want to say we're a destination company, but it is. And people are proud to say that they're working here, or people are happy to apply here because they want to work here. That goes a long way. So we're creating a culture that people want to be part of. Helps us grow together faster and better, improves the client experience and our reputation. They see that. I see reviews that come in that, Caleb and Kevin's team was one that came through. Caleb and Kevin's team did an outstanding job on our property. So they notice that. Clients notice that. We're working together as a team. So, who can you help grow on your team? So pick somebody on your crew. It doesn't take anything to do one extra thing every day, right? Learn one plant a day. Pick somebody during the day and say, hey, I'm going to be a little bit more self-aware of myself, and I'm going to focus on maybe Chike needs a little help, and I can see, is there something I can do to help Chike today? Right? Doesn't take much. I'll pay you guys to do that. I don't care. That's part of your job. It's only going to work out better for the company. What's one way you can be a better teammate? Is there something that you're doing that maybe I come in miserable sometimes? Maybe I talk about people that I shouldn't talk about. Maybe I'm, I don't know. Think about it. I don't want to start calling things out because I don't want anyone to think that I'm talking about them. But there's things that everybody can do, and be self-aware of yourself and what you can do differently so other people will have a better day. How can you show more care in your work, right? So a team is not a group of people that work together. A team is a group of people that trust each other. So, yeah, that's my nurturing and teamwork speech. And that's the one quote I got is, this was Steve Jobs. Great things in business are never done by one person. They're done by a team of people. What successful business has been accomplished by one person? None. You got to do it as a team. So, that's the end of our core values series, I guess. We got through those, and we'll talk about